There we go. Hey!
Well, I can't spend the whole podcast doing this. My arms are getting away.
Anyway.
Hey!
Hello.
Before it falls off.
Hello, fellow Cravers, and welcome to the CTG Podcast for Wednesday, April the 29th. It was Gentleman Creeper Day on Monday. We had an awesome tarabling challenge. There was a lot of cake. And I like cake. Everyone likes cake. It's CTG. What do you expect? As always, you have me, GD. You have to the right of me, in the place where Doc is usually, we have RedShimmy. Hi, Shimmy.
Alright, guys, how's it going?
He's moving! It's not just a picture anymore!
Just an old picture.
Underneath me is Cajr. Hi, Cajr. How you doing down there?
Oh, okay.
Typing away. Slowly.
I'll check out Twitter.
And to the bottom right of me is fellow Team Creeper member Hanksy. The second week in a row, mate. This is a new record for you.
I know. Must have been bad or something.
So anyway, guys, how has your...
I look like I've got a very small prince or a king sitting in front of me. Look.
Oh, bow to the mighty mini
King of Fellatio.
Oh, God.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay. Anyway, how has your week's been? See that Hanksy is having a happy week with his little new crown. You look very smart, to be honest.
I feel quite debonair in my easy chair here. I feel like, some sort of Victorian gentleman. I feel like I'm sitting in one of those, like, the gentlemen's clubs. Yeah, not those type of gentlemen's clubs, Cajr. Right?
Explains the crown.
Yeah, the other gentlemen's club, you see in London. Yeah, the
Cigar and a sherry.
Yeah. I feel like that right now.
That's
maybe
right, Derek. The French.
Maybe I should have a whiskey, but we know where that ends.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. This is the weirdest start to a podcast I have ever had in 99 episodes.
Anyway, on with the gaming news.
Yeah, let's just go straight over to the gaming because it's going to be weird. So, I thought we'll start off with one of the biggest news stories is Silent Hills. It's been cancelled. It's been completely canned. We kind of saw this coming. I think the last nail in the coffin was that PT was taken down today on the 29th of April.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, don't worry. If you've downloaded it, you still got it, to be honest. And I've been heavily downloaded it. So, don't worry, mate. We'll figure out something. Anyway, yeah, Silent Hills. What do you guys think about it being cancelled? Like I said, we kind of saw it coming with Hideo Kojima. I don't know if he's leaving or he's been kicked out of Konami. It seems very messy, whatever's happening over there.
Yeah, it's a bit unclear at the moment, isn't it? But I mean, I'm not that bothered. I gotta admit, it wasn't a game I was looking forward to playing myself.
Oh wow, shock!
But on the other hand, it was a game I could see me being forced to play. So it's one less scary game for me to be forced to play.
We don't force anybody to play anything.
It's not good for the whiskey industry, but.
Just see Jack Daniels standing there. What? Silent Hill standing there. No! Think of all the drinking Hanksy could have done.
I don't drink Jack Daniels, not American muck.
Whoa.
Single malt only. It goes with the chair and the bow tie,
Oh, don't worry, mate. About scary games, we have got plenty. we've got another news story that we're going to be talking about that you might be interested in. Anyway, Shimmy, what do you think about the whole Silent Hills basically falling through?
I didn't even know there was a new Silent Hill. I don't know who all these Japanese people are. Quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. No, I mean, it's an iconic game series. I remember my father used to play it on the PlayStation 1. So it's a shame that if it is going to come to an end, then it wouldn't be done without making its final game. But
well, Konami have actually said that they are going to be making other Silent Hill games.
Yeah, they've said they're committed to it, haven't they? They've just said this particular project isn't going any further.
By the sounds of things, what was actually happening with the project, it was like a dream project. Like you said, you had Hideo Kojima, who was behind the actual making the game. You had Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
He was directing the game, wasn't he, or something like that?
Yeah.
So you had brilliant people behind it, but like I said, you kind of saw it coming since the whole of the Metal Gear Solid 5 issue, where his name's been taken off everything that he was actually connected to.
Yeah.
And like I said, with the whole PT thing that we found out on, I think it was Friday or Saturday, or was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday actually. Finding out that it's going to be expiring on the PlayStation Store, it was just a matter of time. It wasn't a if, it was more of a when.
Yeah.
Cajr, what do you think of the whole Silent Hills disappearing now?
I've never really played it, so it doesn't really affect me.
Nobody cares.
I'm guessing there's a lot of people who care.
If you care about Silent Hill, then message us and tell us why.
The Silent Prince.
Norman Reedus was in it too. It's Norman Reedus. Every time someone keeps names. But more importantly, I think what we got from this here, we want to know what's happening with Konami, because not only that, one of the other stories that they kind of kept under the rug as well, they took themselves off the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, which was probably the bigger news, to be honest, than Silent Hill.
Well, surprisingly,
not being
a lot
made.
of people were more interested with Silent Hills not being made than the whole stock exchange. I'm surprised.
The fact that they've sort of like took themselves, suspended trading, sort of rings alarm bells. There's something really going wrong at that company, doesn't it? So
the thing is,
there's more. I think there's more to be seen here. I think
their excuse about it was that they weren't actually trading as much on the New York Stock Exchange as they were with the London and the
Tokyo.
The Tokyo one, yeah.
Yeah.
So they thought, what's the point of us being there? We'll probably make more money for not being there. But then a lot of people have been saying that the main reason usually when they take themselves down is that they're doing some reshuffling. And we kind of saw this with, like I said, Hideo Kojima. He's disappearing. We don't even know what's happening with him. We don't even know why he's disappearing. All he's just said that he's going to work on Metal Gear Solid 5 and then that's it. He's out. So, and that's what, 1st September?
Allegedly
at the moment.
Yeah.
Give it time.
It was 1st September last year, wasn't it, originally?
Yeah.
They're going to try and get out as soon as possible just to get him out the door.
Ship it out.
We've got half a game. Put it out there.
Just quick. It's half a game. They could think it's a full game. It's bloody Metal Gear Solid. The story doesn't have to make sense. Just bring it out. We did it with 4, we could do it with this. Just give him...
Tell them we'll patch it in a month's time.
Yeah. Don't worry, they're used to it now.
Well, there will be people. So Heavenly's text here. She's saying she's sad that it's not going ahead because it looked like a good return. And I think there will be a lot of people out there who are disappointed, won't there? But as I say, it's not the end of Silent Hill. It's just the end of this particular one, isn't it? So.
Yeah, but it had Norman Reedus in it.
Yeah, like Heavenly said, who is basically right next to Hanksy at the moment. It had Norman Reedus in it. Thanks, Heavenly.
Whoever he is.
But we would like to see what's happening with Konami and that lot. We'll probably get more news about it. But moving on to talking about horror and zombies and all that lot, Black Ops 3 has officially been announced and is going to be coming out on Friday the 6th of November.
Friday?
Yeah, that's what took me back a bit. Now,
That's different.
Now, people who aren't used to gaming timelines and don't really pay attention to them that much, when a game comes out worldwide release, it usually comes out on a Tuesday, which is the Americans' usual release date. The UK release date is usually on a Friday. So a lot of people have been asking, why is it coming out on a Friday and not a Tuesday instead? There's no actual special day around the 4th of November. What is it, 4th? It'll be the 3rd of November. 4th.
Remember?
4th.
The 3rd of November?
It's the 5th of November.
Yeah.
This one's to remember the 3rd because it's when that game's coming out, man.
So, anyway, you guys seen the trailer yet? The reveal trailer of Black Ops 3?
I've not actually.
The picture,
seen
with 3 on it.
a little bit of it, but no, I haven't watched the full trailer yet.
Well, what I got from it is that, of course, it's going to be set in the future, but you will be going back and forth like they do with the other Black Ops. A lot about the what's it called, experimentation, hallucination kind of crap that you usually get from Black Ops. There is a robot with a minigun that changes arms, so you got Terminator in there. You've got the swarm's back as well, but this time they're tiny. They're actually bug-sized swarms.
So swarms.
So it's an actual swarm. I think that's all. Oh, and at the very end of it, there is going to be zombie mode is going to be included in this. Which, don't get me wrong, it's not a surprise since it is Treyarch behind this game as well. But,
I mean, it's not a surprise, but then again, it was DLC, wasn't it? In the last one. So
yeah,
I think and that didn't go down well. There were a lot of people who really didn't like the fact that you're having to pay for the zombies or whatever.
The aliens in the last one, or was that?
Was it aliens or zombies?
No,
I get confused.
It was zombies in the last one, but it was DLC only. I think you only had a small.
You had it were a bonus thing in the last one.
Yeah.
It was a bonus round.
And it was zombies in the one before, which was ghosts.
No, it was aliens.
It was aliens and ghosts.
Yeah, ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's always been zombies in Black Ops.
Yeah. So they've
It's always been Treyarch. They were starting World at War.
I've got a feeling they brought zombies in. To be honest, to think, look, we will need help. This is our actual first game we're doing here. Can you give us a little bit of a push here? I said, yeah, okay. Here's some zombies for you. Give them exoskeletons. People will enjoy it. Nothing can go wrong there. If it all fails, put Predator in the game. It works.
You're saying they've done some unusual things by releasing it on a Friday. What about the fact they're doing a beta?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. If you pre-order, the game, you will automatically get into the Black Ops 3 multiplayer beta, which they haven't given an actual release date when that's going to be starting yet. But I'm going to give you a clue. It's probably going to be before November.
Yeah.
Will your scores carry over?
Who knows?
I said they've not given as much information. All they've said is that there's a beta and it's multiplayer and stuff. But talking about the multiplayer of the game as well, there isn't going to be a default soldier class this time. They're all going to be specialist class from now on. One that they've actually explained to us is that you can actually be a robot cyborg thing with the minigun arm thing.
Right.
Thing with a thing.
With the thing.
So what is it? So when you start multiplayer, you don't have like a generic character which can spec in your own way.
No, you basically pick a specialist class.
For fuck's sake! This is just ruined.
Which has its own power and its own unique weapons. Well, I'm guessing there's going to be common weapons throughout them all as well because come on, but that's what I've heard. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Give them a chance. They probably bring out the beta. People won't like it, and then they'll do a hard line, and then we probably won't see Call of Duty until the beginning of next year.
It's a bit Team Fortressy to me.
Yeah. I'm not fully bothered with it. I'm glad that they kept it a bit more of a secret this year. A little bit.
They didn't though. They started releasing Snapchat things into.
Wait, I forgot. Yeah, there was the leak.
That's what started it all on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah,
really
because everyone thought it was going to be World at War.
They really are not the best.
I'd love a World at War.
What tosses?
What's a momentum-based chained movement system?
Oh, who knows?
I'm going to guess. By the time, all right, yeah, that's a good point. Let's guess. What is it? So what was it?
Well,
again?
I'm just looking at the multiplayer thing on the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 website. And it says here with Black Ops 3. This is what it says for multiplayer. With Black Ops 3, Treyarch premieres a new momentum-based chained movement system, allowing players to fluidly move through the environment with finesse using the controlled thrust, jumps, slides, wall runs, and mantling abilities in a multitude of combinations, all while maintaining complete control over your weapon at all times. Maps are designed from the ground up. I should hope so. For the new movement system, allowing players to be successful with traditional movement as well as advanced tactics and maneuvers.
Do you know what I hear? All that blah blah blah, slightly Titanfall, blah blah blah.
Something about a bicycle chain-based momentum system.
All I can think is that's going to be rather wasted on most of the people who just find a corner and snipe from it.
Yeah.
do you know what I found funny at the moment? I've got Twitch to the left of me at the moment that I can actually view the comment the chat on, and there's an advert above it. It's Call of Duty Black Ops 3. You are going to talk about this.
Big
No,
brother,
it's
you are watching.
It's going to be what's this? Oh, it's Black Ops. But it's going to be the big news for up until E3 now. That's going to be the biggest news we'll get now up until E3, I think.
Yeah. Well, it always is, isn't it?
It always is.
This is what COD do every year, isn't it?
And then they'll jump into bed with Xbox again, Microsoft.
Yeah,
and do
there'll
the
be a
reveal
big reveal, and there'll be somebody doing some gameplay on the stage. It's the same every year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I got to admit, I like Black Ops. I like Black Ops 1. I like Black Ops 2. They were really great games, and you know, when they said it was going to be Black Ops 3, I thought, well, actually, if it's going to carry on the season, then you know, it's probably worth another look. Because obviously, I didn't bother last year.
The thing is,
but then I'm not fussed when you're saying about you're going to be stuck to one class and stuff like that. That sort of puts me off straight away a little bit. So.
Well, the thing is, more than likely, I'll end up having Call of Duty anyway, because it just ends up like that. So I'll probably end up playing the beta of it when it comes out. I'm not bothered with it. I think Call of Duty has had its stage anyway. I think it's lost its momentum since Ghost, and it's just gone down the drain. But
Definitely. I think it's gone stale, hasn't it? And they've tried to do it with this advanced warfare with all the jumpsuits in it. And I know the target audience of my brother's age, which is the 10-year-olds. Like, oh god, there's this new out, and my actual Microsoft my Microsoft account is linked to his Xbox, so I monitor what he buys.
Yeah.
It comes through, and he's just spent £3.20 on some skin with skulls on it, and I'm like,
for God's sake!
I say to my dad and my stepmom, listen, he's buying stuff here. I'm sat in the comfort of my own home, looking, and I get an email.
Hi, you brought some skins. Well done.
Dear DJ Walker, you've spent 50 quid on a load of flipping skins and DLC for a game, and then he sits and playing Terraria anyway, and it's a bit like but he can go to his mates in school and say, oh yo, I've got a pink sniper rifle, and they're all like, oh mate, I've got a gold one.
Don't get me wrong, but schools have changed. If you've just got to go up and say, guess what, I got a pink skin for my sniper rifle. Really? Okay.
Your lunch money. And those Scorpion cut.
360 no Scopia. Bring it. Let's move away from Call of Duty, please. Every time we talk about it, I keep thinking, No, just die already. Anyway, let's talking about Call of Duty, who are famous for having tournaments. Let's talk about a tournament that has not happened. The Halo Master Chief.
Manny Pacquiao.
No.
That's going to be a shit fight.
I know it's going to be a shit fight. Well, you know what? Since it's a topic anyway, who do you think's going to win the fight? Personally, I want Pacquiao to win.
I want Pacquiao to win.
I want Pacquiao to win. I think Mayweather will win there.
Yeah, I think same as Hanks. It's
an arrogant tosser, though.
Yeah.
Like him.
Have you heard how much the purse is that they're splitting?
No, how much?
Oh, it's horrendous.
150 million.
Yeah.
I got knocked out, but now I'm
to Floyd as well.
Yeah. Isn't it the richest boxing that Max has ever been, I think?
She's Belen.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of boxing in the first place. I think the only I watch is when it's on the Olympics, and that's because the British pride used to go for your team, don't you? But I don't see the point of this fight. I'm thinking, just put him in front of someone like Lennox.
We can actually link that to gaming a bit, because we haven't had a boxing game for years.
No, we haven't. I wonder why.
I like one actually, because the old fight nights were good.
I was going to say fight nights. They were the good ones.
Now, man was
but it's all sort of been taken over by the sort of like what you call it?
MMA.
Oh, what's the UFC stuff? I don't know whatever it's called.
MMA.
Yeah.
MMA.
Mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Fight.
What's the game called?
UFC.
Yeah, which is what I just said. So I was right.
Oh wait, no, it's WWE 2K15. By the way, look forward to later this month where we'll be doing our predictions for Payback.
Which we need a third person for already.
Oh no, I think we could just use Com like we did with the tag team.
Right.
Yeah, so
Use Com.
We'll just use
Thank it to the max though.
and
No
then,
cheating.
then Com will win.
Yeah.
Don't want a stale Com that just stands there.
No, Com will win. Com is really, really good against us when we've got a bit of a lag.
Oh, don't get me going with that.
Him out on the line.
Yeah, I mean,
that video.
Like I say, I always liked the boxing games. It was always a good thing to just kick the shit out of somebody, not the fucking somebody. If you wanted it on easy, you choose the heavyweight and put yourself against the welterweight and watch his face get rearranged.
Oh,
but they were good games, especially with the analog stick. You had fluent movement and you could button mash to a certain extent, but you get worn out. So there was a skill and an art to the game, but it wasn't fancy moves. But it still felt fulfilling when you smack someone and all the sweat come off the face. It was like a typical Friday night, it was great.
I've never been a fan of boxing games. I think it's because of the whole using your analog sticks to fight. I'm thinking, I don't want to do this. I'm not a fan of the EA games, definitely not. More fan of you remember Ready to Rumble?
That was a good game. That was a very good game.
And I do like the Punch Out game, which is on the Wii U. I'll be honest, my favourite Smash character is Little Mac, out of anything. So that's my limit to boxing.
That and the Olympics.
That and the Olympics.
Well, Amir Khan. Oh no way, he's not.
I'll read something about Amir Khan, and it just made me laugh. Apparently, they got a machine to try and strengthen his chin. He's got like a basically. I don't know what it were, but I will read it. It was something.
Just woke up.
Head transplant.
It was something to do with that. It was a talk show or something with that Kell Brook, and it's basically told Kell Brook he needs to go up in weight, and whoever writing this article said every time Amir Khan's gone up in weight, he's got knocked out.
Can't go up in weight because he's going to get heavier punches and he'll get knocked out quicker.
Exactly. That's like I say. That's what happened to Amir Khan. Every time he's gone up in weight, he's just got knocked clean out. He can't take the heavier punches. And like I say, they got a machine to try and specifically so he can take a heavier punch.
Anyway, let's move away from actual sports and go back to games. Like I said, there's a tournament that was supposed to be happening. I think it was this week, but it's been cancelled. And that was the Halo Master Chief Collection tournament because the game is still broken. That's the reason why the tournament's been cancelled, because the game is still broken. How long's the game been out now?
A while, I think.
About 6 months, isn't it?
November, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 5-6 months.
Still broken.
The thing is, I'm more disappointed, if anything, because I am a fan of Halo. I love the multiplayer. I love Griffball, which I think they called Ricochet now. I don't know.
Don't know.
But when Master Chief Collection came out and the matchmaking decided, no, I'm not doing this. It kind of, this point, you would have thought they would have fixed it by now, especially when
I
they
thought
put
it was
a tournament.
fixed.
Well, according to the the people who are going to be holding this official tournament, which, be surprised, it was Microsoft.
Yeah.
Have actually said, no, we're not doing the tournament because the game is still broken.
Right, because when I played it, Sam played it in a while, but I played it a bit around Christmas and that, and it seemed to be working alright at that point. So whether they've hit problems again since then, I don't know.
Well, Coach, haven't you tried playing it again this week or last week?
I have one match. I keep saying me and you need to go on it and try and see what it's like with matchmaking within a group.
Yeah.
So jumping it on my own, that might work, but jumping in as a group might be different. So we need to...
We'll have to have a look.
So, yeah, that's upsetting. We got no... Don't get me wrong, you would have thought they would have said something at least a couple of months in advance when the competition is basically a week away. And they said, oh yeah, guess what? Yeah, the competition's been cancelled, I'm sorry.
Where was the competition? Where were we doing it?
I don't know, to be honest. I've just been told that the competition's been cancelled because of...
Well, I'm presuming if matchmaking was a problem, then it must have been a sort of like an online competition, wasn't it?
It probably was, actually, yeah, because they usually have the qualifier stuff online, like they do with Call of Duty as well. And
so if it was all in one place, they'd just run it. Yeah, if it was all in one place, they'd just run it through local servers, wouldn't they? Surely.
Yeah, they'd have a big LAN party, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So, but let's just hope Halo 5 ends up working.
I just say we need to give it a go because I know it was working fine. So that's why I was a bit surprised when I heard that it'd been cancelled. To be honest, so I have to wait. I have to have a look.
But, like I said, we've got Halo 5 coming. Hopefully that will end up working. Talking about other games that we really do with playing again, Happy Wars is now officially out as well.
Yeah.
After the whole, we put it up accidentally, but we'll take it down. Oh God, we broke the 360 version. What the hell's going wrong here? What? We're gonna put it out next week. Why didn't we just leave it up? No. Well, yeah, it came out. I think you get 2 times 7-day passes with the game as well. A bunch of stars and some happy tickets, which is basically your real life currency.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in-game currency.
In-game currency.
Yeah.
Happy tickets.
Happy tickets.
I wish you could go to the shops, go Asda and get a week shop, and then just go happy tickets.
the
Shower.
The thing is, I'm not 100% bothered even if they did or didn't give it. They gave us a ton of stuff for a game where, don't get me wrong, it came out, and they took it back down again in a matter of hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
But it's
it was long enough to break the 360 one, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the point. It's a free game. I mean, I've had problems with it. I don't know. So I've tried playing it earlier. I couldn't get any matchmaking to work. So, as I say, Halo's been fine, but Happy Wars, no.
We can't stand this. A free game's not working properly.
I know. I spent about 20 minutes earlier tonight trying to get into a match and gave up.
You should get your money back, to be honest.
Yeah, I want my happy I want more happy tickets. I'm not happy.
Do you know what?
Give me more happy.
They're going to give us more happy tickets now. This isn't working.
Yeah.
Woo! I can buy a pack.
So I mean, whether that was just just a glitch, I don't know. I know you've played it, so were you able to get on alright?
No, I got onto the actual what's it called, the menu stuff, but I never actually played the game yet.
So it could well be they've given us all this stuff, but you can't actually play the game.
You haven't used one of your 7-day passes yet, have you?
No. Luckily.
Yeah. I haven't used mine yet, so That's another thing what I like about those 7-day passes. They gave us 2, so if you use 7 days, you've always got the other pass for another time anyway. Instead of just giving us 14 days bundled together.
Yeah.
What's that like premium membership for?
Yeah, it's premium membership, basically.
Yeah.
You get better XP and more free tickets when you win a game.
Yeah, and I think you get
More happy
access
tickets.
to
Happy tickets.
certain places as well, probably.
Yeah. Probably, matchmaking probably works for you.
Well, speaking of matchmaking, I've just looked at an article online, and Halo Master Chief Collection still isn't working on matchmaking, apparently.
All right, there you go.
You know what? I think that's what we should do on the podcast now. We should do an update on Halo Master Chief Collection. Is matchmaking working now? If I have a quick second. Cajr, is matchmaking working now? No. Now let's go back to the next story.
Yeah, the day before Halo 5 comes out, they'll get it to work, and then Halo 5 won't.
Yeah.
Well, they've said, this article says that it won't affect Halo 5's multiplayer systems.
Yeah, it's going to affect themselves.
But the fact is that the Master Chief Collection is hurting the brand.
Well, yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's a huge thing. I think you can get, is it 5,000 trophies or something? 5,000 gamer score on it as well.
It is big.
That's before you add in with the ODST they bring out this month.
Yeah.
Which we don't even know if that will work when it comes out.
Yeah.
I think ODST will work as the campaign side because it's just a campaign.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with Halo's one of those games that does live or die on its multiplayer, doesn't it? And if the multiplayer's not working, then it will hurt the brand.
Yeah.
You know.
So is the matchmaking completely dead as in you can't find a game, or is it broken as in
it's
putting noobs against pros? Or
you can find a game, it's hit and miss, I think, by the look of it. And it's like, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't.
So it's basically pot luck with that at the moment, which you shouldn't be having this when we're 5 months down the line for the game now.
No.
Which is...
Not for a game as big as Halo. You know what I mean? It's...
Anyway, moving on to the next bit. Let's talk a little bit about E3. E3 is coming up in it's a month and a half's time now, isn't it?
A bit early to be talking about that, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a story that we can talk about it. It looks like another publisher has put their hat in
Square
the
Enix, isn't it?
ring. Yeah. So I've got a question here. What do you think they're going to be talking about that's made them actually do a press conference at E3?
Well, what games have they got? They've got Tomb Raider. They'll talk about that. The new Tomb Raider. That's out the year.
Another Last Remnant game.
Another Last Remnant game.
Star Ocean. The new Star Ocean they announced.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy.
No,
possibly.
They've already come out and said that they are not going to be talking about Final Fantasy 15 at the press conference, which is stupid.
Well, yeah, because it won't be long before that comes out, surely, afterwards. Might as well. But we hope.
Well,
who
like
knows?
I said, it's more of what I'm wondering about here is, what are they going to be announcing that they haven't announced yet?
There's a few things you might see, because like I say, you got the games we already know about. I think they're going to do something with Final Fantasy. I think there will be some Final Fantasy in there. You can't have Square Enix without Final Fantasy.
Of course.
Whether it's just an expansion on the 14?
14, yeah.
Or whether it's something to do with 15, or whether it's the next game after 15, or whatever. There's going to be I think there's always going to be a Final Fantasy.
I've got a feeling
there.
That's the Square Enix way. So 15 is going to be coming out. We haven't given you a date yet, but here's 16.
Yeah. I mean, what would be great, I think, what we'd all like, but it won't happen, is there to be an announcement of some type of bundle of, sort of remastered older versions, wouldn't it? That's what we'd like.
Well, we're getting that.
Well, we're not getting a remaster, it's a port, isn't it?
Port, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a port, but you are getting a remaster with 10 and 10.2, which is out next month.
Yeah,
couple of weeks.
The 12th,
yeah. So it might be somewhere around those.
You know what? We can't talk about a podcast without talking about Doc. We just had a message from him over Twitter.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why he's not here, real life stuff again. But he says that he hates missing the podcast. Work promised Wednesday off, and I still got to work them. Grr.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
So, we don't even know if he's going to show up next week. Oh, please let him work. Please let him be here. Please let him be here.
What's the last day of the E3?
Last day of E3 is...
Is it 16th?
No, the 16th is, I think, the day before. I think it's from the 17th to the 19th, top of my head.
I doubt it, because I'm looking at the E3 2015 on Wikipedia. Bethesda's is on the 14th of June.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's a good point. I think the 17th is the last day.
Well, Square Enix's is on the 16th.
For God's sake. So let's have a look.
How many
What have we
dates?
got so far as press conferences?
They're the only one that's got dedicated press conferences. Plus, you'll have your Sony and Microsoft, and you'll have Nintendo do Direct at the same time.
We've got Ubisoft and EA
and EA.
Well, they've not actually, according to Wikipedia, so I'm just going looking off what I can see here. They haven't actually said they're doing a.
They will do that. They will, because EA will want to announce, what amazing things it's doing to its next sports games.
Don't EA usually do that at Microsoft press conference?
No, they normally have their own as well. They normally do COD at the Microsoft one, don't they? Mm. And then they do some of their games they did on the Microsoft one last time, but then they do their own where they go into it in more detail. Well, they tell us all about next year's FIFA, where you can see, pimples on the faces of the people in the crowd and stuff like that, So it's really exciting.
You can kick the ball in the most realistic way ever.
Yeah. And then Ubisoft will announce what new Assassin's Creed game is coming out.
Based on just them two press conferences alone, I think it could be quite an interesting E3. We could get some big games announced. I mean, with Bethesda, you've got so many games they could announce. Fallout 4.
Fallout 4, yeah. That's what we all want, but ain't going to happen.
Fallout 4.
I you see it happening. By the end of it, everyone's looking and thinking, they didn't mention... They lied to us! They said they were going to do it! They lied to us!
Yeah, but there's so many other games. There's so many other games, like, there's Dishonored 2 they could do.
Yeah.
Dishonored 2, yeah.
Games that they can do. They could also announce an expansion to Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, yeah.
That comes out in June, doesn't it? That comes out week before, 2 weeks before.
In June,
yeah.
But there was a few things that they could announce, but I think a lot of people are expecting Fallout. This is what we've got a question here. There's got to be a reason why they're doing their own press conferences. They wouldn't be doing their own press conference. Okay, we've got Microsoft who said we're going to be focusing on first-party games this year more, but they doesn't give the others saying they could just announce whenever. It's like with Square Enix as well. They've already told us that Deus Ex Mankind Evolved. Is it Evolved?
Yeah.
Mankind Divided, sorry.
Yeah,
is going to be coming out. Now, the thing is, if it was a leak, it would have been completely different. It was sort of leaked, but it was leaked when they were kind of presenting the game.
Yeah.
So, why did they do that and not just announce it at E3 if they were going to be doing an E3 press conference already? There's got to be something there. It's just...
Yeah, it's like we said with Bethesda when they first announced it, that for them to do an hour, they've got to have at least half a dozen games they're going to showcase.
I think with Bethesda is the weird one, because with Square Enix they have other developers, don't they? Bethesda don't. Bethesda's pretty much got their own titles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I expect to actually see? If we do get more announcements of press conferences, I expect to see an Activision one soon as well. They've got plenty behind them to do it. They've got Skyrim, they've got... not Skyrim.
That's Bethesda.
They've got Skylanders, they've got...
no.
They've got Call of Duty, they've got the whole Blizzard stuff behind them, so you got Heroes.
Yeah.
But then again, they don't need to do that because they have BlizzCon. Which is...
Yeah, I think they're more likely. They just piggyback on the back of sort of other press conferences, aren't they? I think. Yeah.
But like I said, who would you like to see if they do a press conference? Who would you like to see announce one next? Starting with.
Don't give us a chance to fucking think.
Whoever's got one first.
Valve press conference.
A what? A Valve? Oh god, yeah, that'd be awesome. Stop doing that to the camera! Yeah, I would like to see a Valve. I think that's the only way. If, for example, Square Enix announces we're doing Final Fantasy VII in HD, and then Valve just comes through saying, "Yeah, Half-Life 3, goodbye."
Half-Life 3, goodbye. Boom. Ali Akbar.
They just got to bring a little sign up and just have it written on it.
Yeah.
Only available on Vive.
Well, what about Capcom?
That'd be interesting.
Because I think we're due for another Resident Evil, aren't we? Actual Resident Evil game.
Do you know what? I'd just be happy if they do Revelations 3 again. But I think that was the best thing they could do with the Resident Evil series.
Oh, actually, I've got it. I've got mine now. Is it not 2K? Is it? Who the fuck is it? Where is it? Where's my game? Whoever owns Borderlands. 2K.
2K, yeah.
Borderlands.
Yeah.
But aren't they on the Take-Two, aren't they? So that's
I don't fucking know. I know it's all 2K Take-Two. Fucking.
They could they could easily.
See, actually, Gearbox actually.
Well, 2K Take-Two. They could easily do it because 2K has pretty much got the same structure as EA do, don't they? They've got the sports games, and then they've got this tiny games, and then they've got their big AAA games. So they could easily do a press conference for an hour, quite easily.
Press conference for indie only.
But they don't have a. The thing is with EA, they're annual games, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, but 2K.
You know, so all the sports games come out annually. I know 2K do to a point, but it's wrestling and that, but not the majority of them.
NBA, they have the 2K15.
Yeah,
anything that's got 2K in it is
2K. Surprisingly, I didn't expect that. Yeah. When did they get developed? Oh, it was in the 90s.
Yeah. But they haven't got as many as EA, and then EA on top. You got everything else that the Battlefield and whatever, So there's a bit of a difference in there, but so the two big gaming houses are the ones that are already there, isn't it? Which is Ubisoft and EA. And then so it's a bit of a surprise. That's why we're talking about it. That you've got Bethesda and Square Enix this year.
I think one of the reasons why we might not have a time and actually saying they were doing a press conference yet is they might not have a time slot yet.
No.
They might just purely not have a time slot. Like I said, the two are on Wikipedia for it. Have a time slot. Bethesda's is 7 PM on June 14th, and Square Enix is 9 AM on June 16th.
Well, it's nice to see that. We've got to look at it this way as well. It's nice to see that E3 is starting to have this, what's it called? This popularity around it again. But I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago we started to see it die a bit. And now it's just slowly starting to build back up again. Now we've got more people doing press conferences. Nintendo, okay, they don't do a press conference, but they have that whole stupid treehouse thing there.
GD, can I just stop you there? Are you trying to show us something on your phone?
No.
You got your phone showing your camera.
Yeah, I was looking at Twitter at the same time, sorry.
You want to see those pictures, GD?
You don't want to see those pictures.
No, we don't want to see those pictures. We don't want to see the pictures. We don't want to see them.
You don't want to see them.
Yeah. Just too many sewers. Too many sewer pictures.
But anyway, let's move away from the whole E3 stuff. We'll talk about that a bit more nearer the end of next month. Trying to think what is the next story. I had it in my head. Let's talk about more Kombat. Jason Voorhees is going to be coming out on the 5th of May. You're getting your first DLC character for that wonderful, wonderful game. You guys don't care, do you?
Who is Jason Voorhees?
Freddy vs. Jason.
What would what would that slow hunk of meat do in the martial arts aspect of the game, or would it just be a one?
Oh, look, we don't have to do martial arts in that game. Have you seen Jax? He's basically a beefcake with metal arms.
I thought Jax isn't in the 10.
Sorry, what?
But he died in like.
No, he actually came back to life. Spoiler alert. He came back to life.
Oh no!
You ruined it for me.
You've ruined it for everyone now, GD.
Oh god, it's basically
Horrible person.
all over again. Nah, he's still in the game as well. But you've also got this Cajr character, which is basically a giant with a little midget on his back. I'm going to say a midget. It's actually a little girl, but it's better saying a midget, especially when it's a game like Mortal Kombat.
I thought it was an old lady.
Or you can throw an old lady at people. I've learned that. You actually
That's
get an
what I'm
achievement for
confused with.
doing that. You get an achievement for throwing an old lady. Well, yeah. So the first of the 4 DLC characters is coming out on the 5th of May. Other characters, like we said, we've got Tanya and Rain, and of course Predator. Whenever that's deciding to be coming out. But yeah.
Please, we can kill it.
Oh god, yeah. But yeah, you've got Jason Voorhees first.
Yeah, but Jason Voorhees, can he not die? Is that this whole thing? He can't actually die.
He'll be perfect for that world then.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it Jason? One of them where he gets like covered in like titanium.
Oh,
So
Jason
for the
X,
future.
the movie no one talks
Jason
about.
Yeah, and he beats up 2 teenagers in sleeping bags against each other. That's a good film. Those days.
That sounds like a comedy.
Quality, yeah.
What
Go up in a
happened?
sleeping bag and
Well,
beat you against your friend.
Oh god, it's just. Oh, Nick.
Still, I don't think he'll have a good move pool. Can't see him being suddenly, shetty, and that's it, isn't it?
So is that all we've got to say about Mortal Kombat?
I guess so. I'm not going to say much else about it. Like I said, all we've got is that. Also, I played a little bit of the faction stuff that's on it as well.
No.
I had there's a.
I don't fucking start going into it. You'll be here for a week. Just.
It's an awesome game. That's all I'm saying. If you do get a chance to pick it up, get it, because it's actually it's a fun game that you can beat up your friends on and then kill them with a fatality by freezing their belly and basically pulling their spine in half. You know,
The belly.
Oh, don't Jenny, just.
Oh no! Oh shit!
He's ripped.
All his posters are falling down. And those torn up.
Oh no!
Oh.
Fuck it.
Okay.
You've
So
been
if
framed,
anybody
get the camera.
watching would like to donate to the
Please,
www.buygdandnewposter.com.
I need posters! I need fan-arts!
Get Nepal. GD's posters fell off.
Brian, I'm talking to you!
Oh.
I hate posters.
Oh dear. Anyway,
That's what you get
moving
for
away
damp
from Mortal
walls and
Kombat.
cheap blue tack.
moving
even your posters don't like Mortal Kombat.
No, they don't. Yeah, one more thing. Talking about Silent Hill earlier, just looked onto Polygon. You remember the whole Happy Bird incident where people ended up selling... Stop putting it on Twitter!
Too late. I'm just keeping Doc up to date.
He's not here, he doesn't get to update. But anyway, talking... you remember the whole is it Flappy Bird thing? Where people started selling phones on eBay for absurd amounts of money because the game was already on the game.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like this PT is going to be following the same trend as well, because there's listings hit eBay with pre-installed on PS4s for more than $1,500.
It's ridiculous.
Wow, you could almost buy a PS4 for that.
No, you get the PS4 as well. You just get the game. But we're going to see things like that, especially now that it's pretty much gone and it's dead. We don't expect to see PT coming back, do we? Now, since it's gone.
We can hope.
Gone. Yeah, we can hype and then make currency when it comes back. Play it. That's it. You just reminded me what I wanted to talk about next. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Did you get a fourth one?
A fourth one has been announced.
My God, within a year, basically, isn't it? It took a year and a half.
I'd like to point out, you are going to be waiting a little bit longer compared to Five Nights at Freddy's standards. The fourth and final chapter of Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be coming out on Halloween. So,
there you go.
Yeah, that's a bit stupid. I mean, 5 Nights at Freddy's, they ended at 4. What happens to the 5th night?
You never make
No,
it.
each one of them.
No, you think it's called 5 Nights at Freddy's? You think the 5th, they'd end at the 5th one, wouldn't you?
It'll be the lost chapter.
Yeah.
So it's like ours.
It's the same game though every time, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sitting in the room doing sod all, getting scared
Taking
to
a-
shit out you.
Yeah. Taking a mask off,
Open
putting
the
mask
door,
on.
close the door, open
Taking
the
mask
door.
off, putting
Yeah,
mask on.
Open the door. Light on. Put the mask on. Quick, close the door. And then everyone's like, "Oh my God, I'm so pro at Freddy's."
I would like to point out there has been a few differences for the games for people who are listening. There has been a few differences. The first one, like I said, we had the doors and the lights, didn't we? And it was a smaller building. The second one, we didn't have the doors. I think all you had was the actual mask, didn't you? And the building was bigger as well. And also the puppet, the goddamn puppet, the fucking puppet.
What's the whole thing about
Wind
5
it up,
Nights at
didn't you?
Freddy's?
You had to wind the thing up to stop
to stop the
guy
puppet from coming.
yeah.
And then the third one, there was actually just one mechanical figure, and it was all set behind. It was amusement park now, wasn't it? Because the whole the pizza or whatever place has been shut down, and it became a legend or something. But more importantly, even then, when you said, "Oh, there's only going to be one animatronic," doesn't mean that there's only one animatronic that's going to scare you in that game. You have hallucinations in that game of the other animatronics showing up out of nowhere.
Oh, but only one can actually kill you.
But only one can kill you, and it's the golden bear one.
Golden bear.
The golden bear.
The golden
bear. Basically, you're
Pussy,
killed,
run!
you're killed by a Haribo.
Kids and grown-ups love it so.
Happy world of. Mommy, there's a gummy bear staring at me. Shut up and go to bed.
So,
What is the story of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Right.
What's the whole story?
I've watched a bit of. I think it was
Game
the second one I've watched on Twitch a little bit, and to be honest, it don't seem that exciting.
Doesn't answer my question.
Right, what I understand now...
What's the story? Just because you've watched doesn't mean that you tell me about the story, does it?
I think they've not actually given us a full story of the actual game itself, but we've had people on...
What's
the
name of the game?
Listen.
Because nobody really knows.
Listen, on YouTube there is actually Game Theory who have been basically making the story as they go along. And what I understand from it... What I understand from it is basically what has happened is there is a guy who was the security guard at Fuzzy Fazbear's Pizza Auditorium. So,
I thought it was Freddy.
I don't give a damn. He was at the Pizza Auditorium, whatever. And basically...
Pizza Auditorium?
That is actually what I think it is. Is it Auditorium?
Auditorium? No idea.
The pizza restaurant.
I'll just Google the damn
Charlie
thing.
Chalks at a wheat chief.
Yeah, he was the security guard at the pizza restaurant where Freddy Fazbear was anyway. And what happened was there was a child party, and this is the first story that he kidnapped 5 children in the game.
This has gone too far.
No,
Five Nights at Jimmy's.
No. It gets a lot worse. I'm going to be honest with you. He kidnaps 5 children, and they completely go missing. They know that he's done it, but he didn't say anything. And they reached a point that the animatronics, had horrible smells coming from them, and there was red what they said red oil, but which was actually blood leaking from these suits. So if they think that the kids were put into these suits. Oh, it's gone really
Good
dark
hiding
all of a
place, to be honest.
sudden.
I'm just looking up on Google because you're doing shit at the time.
Yeah, you lost me at auditorium, to be honest.
So you play. You actually
looking
play a
at the-
security guard and you get chased by evil animatronics and you've got to survive the night.
No, they said that the security guard. Do you remember with the guy that actually phones you? That's that security guard.
No one's phoned me. I've got no missed calls.
On the game.
Oh,
I've never been phoned by a security guard.
Yeah, the guy.
It's just a pizzeria.
Pizzeria, okay, pizzeria, a pizza restaurant.
No.
Whatever.
Do you know what an
Pizza
auditorium
auditorium.
is?
I don't know. It's a place
An,
that has pizza.
auditorium is like a theatre, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Who does not want a pizza auditorium all of a sudden?
theatre of pizza.
Theatre of pizza. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't care. I just don't care. There is a story there. We don't know the story, but talking about stories about Five Nights at Freddy's. Also, I don't know who it was. I think it's Warner Brothers or something. They've actually acquired the license to make the movie of Five Nights at Freddy's. So expect a movie probably coming out at the same time if they're going to work as fast as how the games work.
It's going to be one boring story. Or is it going to be like Night at a Museum but
yeah,
or
just
Dead Children?
an hour and a half of watching a bloke sitting at a desk, putting the mask on,
there's
putting the
screamer.
mask on, taking the mask
And
off.
there's a scream every 10 minutes and it just restarts again. It's basically just an hour-long let's play of the game.
Everyone's walking out the cinema like, what was your favourite bit? And they're like, the bit where you open and close the door. Each time. And about the 22nd minute.
I like the bit where he put the mask on. What about you? Oh, I like the bit where he
taking
took
the
the
mask
mask off.
Are you kidding me? That was shit.
Right, now the thing is, what's it called? We know this is going to be a horror movie, but what would you actually like to see if it wasn't going to be a horror movie? What if it was a romantic comedy?
Like, he pops out and then he gropes the man and they come together as one.
Romantic comedy,
Passion.
not erotic thriller.
But as he comes together, he says, knock, knock. And he says,
We've already got a comedy. I won't say romantic comedy because we've got Ted.
Oh, wow, compare it to Ted.
I said comedy. I said romantic.
Was there some bromance?
The security guard and Freddy. Oh.
Word, this could
You're
get so
just
dark and
wrong.
twisted, it's unbelievable.
Look, we know how wrong we can go down. Remember the Nintendo episode?
We're plumbing the depths now.
Oh.
Five Nights at Freddy's. It could be like one about the BBC and Jimmy Savile.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Five
the
Nights at
kids.
Jimmy's.
Yeah, Five Nights at Jimmy's. How about that then? Ooh.
Jim fix it.
You just hear it in the shadows. Now then.
And there's just Waddy Waddy playing in the background. I went to the desert and took a drink from a Waddy Waddy.
Oh, God's sake.
We've been got.
You need fucking help.
Oh, God, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next bit. We've just been told what our free game's going to be for Xbox One for this year. This month. This month.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I know. Games with Gold is shit, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, we know what the game is going to be for games with Gold for May now.
Great. Before you start, is it going to be like a big title?
Yeah, come on.
Is it gonna be a title we've actually heard of?
No.
Is it going to be a really shit indie game that nobody ever
be
wants
Happy
to
Wars?
buy?
It's not. Oh, yeah, it's Happy Wars.
It's Halo 5, but just the multiplayer.
Yeah, Halo 5 multiplayer, which doesn't work. Yeah, take it for free.
Right.
Don't want it anymore.
Anyway, the games that we're going to be getting on Xbox One, we're getting Castle Storm, the definitive edition. I think.
Oh, great! Because that's brilliant. Because I've actually, honestly, never ever wanted to play that.
Yeah, same here.
GG, me too.
No,
I think I might actually buy an Xbox One to not download that game.
Right, no, this is the better part. Now, I like to point out, we're in 2015 at the moment, aren't we?
There's a better part?
This is
My
the better
God.
part. We're in 2015 at the moment. The games that are coming out on the 360 is Mafia 2 and F1 2013.
That's technically the last F1 they made, though.
That was technically... Seriously, they completely skipped 14.
No,
Why?
there was one last year. There was
no.
one last year, wasn't
I think there was one on 360 last year, F1, and then they delayed the Xbox One version. Said they're going to release it early this year into the season, if I remember correctly.
I like to point out that you're getting F1 2013 on the 360. Same with Mafia 2. You're only getting Castle Storm Definitive Edition on the Xbox One.
Oh, well,
They've gone back down
sucks.
to just 3 games coming out this month, which yeah. So yeah, that's your games you're going to be getting on May the 1st.
I've heard there's rumours of the PS Plus one, which the people don't believe. It's going to be Knack and what other one?
Oh,
There's another game. There's for fuck's sake.
You failed at that one then. But you were the wealth of all information.
No, there was Knack and there was another game.
Thing is though, with the PS Plus, there's been rumours for about the last 4 months now, because every time they delay the announcement, everyone goes, "Oh, it's going to be a really big game," and then it's some shit indie game nobody's ever heard of again.
what, like Towerfall? That was a good
I was going
game.
to say, I knew you were going to stick up for it.
I'm going to stick up for it. I like to point out that compared to Xbox, I still think PlayStation does have the better lineup, no matter what.
Yeah, they do. That's true.
I'm trying to remember what we had last month.
Never Alone.
Yeah, we had Never Alone and another game. Oh, Tower of Guns. We actually had some alright games last month as well.
Yeah, and I think it was Killzone was on the Vita.
Yeah, still got to download that. Oh, also Monster Bag, which I actually enjoyed playing.
I didn't really like it either this month, but yeah, they weren't bad games. Just I didn't like them.
According to here, what I've got games that PlayStation 3 games for May include. They've actually announced the PlayStation Plus games as well. So
right.
Weirdly enough, we are getting the full PlayStation lineup for May. Ether 1, sorry, on the PlayStation 4. Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition to PS4. Now, before anyone mentions it, I understand it was on the Xbox One first.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 months ago.
Hokum is going to be one of the PlayStation 3 titles, but will also be cross-buy on the PS4 and the PS Vita. Murasaki Baby is on the PS Vita. Race the Sun is going to be available on the PS4, PS3 and PS Vita, and Unfinished Swan, which is also available on the PS4, PS3 and PS Vita. So the PlayStation 4 this month are going to have 5 games.
Yeah, which is really good.
For PlayStation Plus this month, PS4.
Finished one though.
Finished one, yeah.
Finished.
Unfinished.
Yeah, unfinished Swan.
Not finished yet.
It's not finished yet.
Alpha.
Yeah, it's getting there. What I've seen at the moment is
Master Chief Collection.
What I understand at the moment it's all black and white, but it's give it a chance. Yeah, at least you can play. Yeah, you play the multiplayer on that.
Yeah, you can look at the loading screen, which is in HD, 1080p. It'll have 8
I might even stream it.
Yeah, stream it. 24-hour stream of the loading screen.
You know what?
I'm a 5th kind of monster. Oh, it's gone crazy.
If people haven't noticed, we've moved on to the quick update stuff, by the way, now. So let's move on to the next one. The World Video Game Hall of Fame. They've announced the finalists that are going to be up for getting into this new Hall of Fame that is in New York. The games that are included are Pong, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Sims, Doom, Angry Birds. Yeah, I think that's through. Pokemon. Did I already mention Tetris? No, I haven't.
Those classics and Angry Birds.
You've got all
Angry
these...
Birds.
No, to be honest, Angry Birds is the one that kind of stands out here. Thinking seriously, why is that in the list? But you've got games. Other games include Sonic, Mario, World of Warcraft, Zelda, and Minecraft. So the only game that I'd see out of those that don't deserve to be there at the moment. Oh, and FIFA is also on the list as well, which does make sense because of it being. You got to think it's one of the best-selling games around as a series.
Well, that's it, and I suppose there's only 2 football games. One of them's kind of got to be the best.
Yeah, and it's FIFA. No, the one with all the licensing.
Yeah.
Market.
So, out of those games, which one would you like to see be put into the Hall of Fame?
Doom.
Doom, yeah.
I think it's FPS models rated everything after it, really. It's
Yeah, you got to remember.
the genre.
Yeah, how long ago was it that every FPS game that came out of it was classed as a Doom clone or something like that?
Clone back in the days on floppy disk. Yeah, Duke Nukem and all those. There's so many. Even Star Wars. There's a Star Wars game that's a Doom clone as well.
What about you, Hanksy? What game would you out of that list?
So out of those, well, for Pong,
Pong.
because that's where it started. To be honest, I know it's a really simple game, but everybody knows Pong, don't they? And it really was where it all properly started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That or Space Invaders. Space Invaders being the first, massive arcade game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Asteroid as well. There was Asteroid on that list.
No,
I don't think it was it?
List, no.
No.
Like I said, they're all going to be putting more and more into it. It's just that they haven't actually told us how many of these 15 finalists are actually going to be put up for Hall of Fame status. But it's nice to see what the list is. Cajr, what out of those games would you like to see being put into the Hall of Fame?
Mario.
See Mario. Reasons?
It's just the iconic character. He was like one of the first iconic characters.
Yeah.
Personally, out of those which I would actually like to see, I'm probably going to say Tetris myself, because how many times have you? Everyone's played Tetris. It's the best-selling game ever, isn't it? It's been on everything. And you've got a chance. The thing is, everyone's played Tetris. It's a fun game. You can easily just sit down and play it, and it's, in my opinion, it's what gaming is. It's something you sit down and play, and you have fun with it. And Tetris never fails to do that.
I think it's got a good position in modern gaming when someone is awful at, say, a Call of Duty, and a friendly team player would be so frustrated in your poor playing that they would say, you fucker, uninstall a game and go and play Tetris. Which, I see a lot on actual World of Tanks, actually, when people say, and what else have we been Heroes of the Storm? Uninstall a game and go and play Tetris.
So,
then something to do with homosexuals.
I've got a feeling this is going to be a stupid question, but out of those games, which game do you think doesn't deserve to be on that list?
On that list, Angry Birds.
Angry Birds.
I think Angry Birds, yeah. I think you can't put Minecraft on it yet.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is,
possibly, I'd even say World of Warcraft as well yet.
That's one thing that I'm struggling with World of Warcraft, because you got to think it's 10 years old now. It's actually what made MMOs, and it's still one of the most popular MMOs to this day.
That's the fact it's only 10 years old. You've got all them other games which set the standard for. I know they set the standard of MMO, but there's so many games which they took from to make their game.
There was a lot of MMOs before that, like Ultimate Online and stuff.
And EverQuest as well, weren't there?
The Quest and stuff. I think, but World of Warcraft has kind of defined that MMO where everyone thinks. If I said to a person who doesn't play games and I said an MMORPG, they go, "Oh, what, like that World of Warcraft?" So it's kind of that. I don't like Angry Birds because it's what I hate of a gaming when someone says, "Oh, I'm a gamer," and it's like, no, you're not. You just play Angry Birds on your tablet, which is free to play, and you just flick it about with your fingers.
Stick up for it a bit. I mean,
understand why it's there as well.
A lot of those games on there, they're genre defining, and the thing with Angry Birds was it sold that many copies, and it was Angry Birds, you did have to originally pay for it, didn't you? I think you still have to do.
Yeah.
But it sold so many copies, and there are that many people who don't think of themselves as gamers, but sit for hours each day on their phone, whether they're playing Angry Birds or Candy Crush or whatever they're playing. So it is, and it does define that sort of genre, doesn't it? You know, obviously since then, your Bubble Witch and your
mobile genre,
Candy
it does
Crush
define it. Yeah, you are right there. It is the genre-defining game, but I don't like that as a
it's
game.
The benchmark, isn't it?
Genre.
Yeah. It's like one day you'll get Quadriga 4 being put into that list of thing because it was the first console-based first-person shooter online.
Yeah.
It was the benchmark. It's the benchmark for years. It's going to be the benchmark for years.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's one game that I'm actually surprised isn't there, Call of Duty. Because if you got to think about it, that is basically what brought
kicked
console
on
gaming into the front view of the mainstream as well. It actually put it there and said, look, this is a game. This game made a lot of money. This is making a lot more money than your movies, your music, anything is making here. This is the reason why. People are buying this game and are playing this game. Okay, it's not doing as well as it once did, and we've spoken about this, but it's still making a ton of money. Even Advanced Warfare, okay, it didn't do that well, but it made a ton of money still. I think.
Oh, gotcha.
I think the only game that actually
still one of the biggest selling games of the year, wasn't it? Well, you know, it didn't sell as many, but it didn't.
I think the only other game that actually sold more, actually made more money last year compared to Call of Duty was GTA 5, and that's because it came onto next-gen consoles, and it's same the year before as well. The only game that actually beat it was GTA 5, but ever since then, Call of Duty's always been there, and it has actually brought gaming into the mainstream of entertainment. I would like to see that get into the Hall of Fame in the future, but I'm actually surprised that's not on the list as well.
It's like I said. I think the games you've got to. Is it the very first Hall of Fame they're doing?
This is the first one, isn't it? So it's going to be.
So you've got to have the genesis of the video game industry. Yeah, like the very first games of. Like you do, like you say, Tetris, the ones which set the standard for everything that came after. And like I say, World of Warcraft for me doesn't fit that because it's probably took so many things from other games from back then, utilised it in another game, made it their own, and then made the MMO scene as big as it is.
I suppose, if you've got to come up with a short list of 15 games, and it's because there are genres that are missing out, and there's no driving games on there. You know what I mean? It's. I can remember.
We can think of a bunch of games that also deserve to be on there. We've got like Tomb Raider. We could say the Lego games. Technically, they're basically
Final Fantasy VII.
We could say Telltale games as well. Their games could be on that list.
No, they're too recent.
They're too recent to you. We could not even look at video games themselves. What about going towards the board games, Dungeons and Dragons as well?
But is it not the
but it's the video game Hall of Fame, isn't it?
Good point.
It's the video game, not the game Hall of Fame.
But then
it's the video
you've
game.
got other things like Asteroid, Centipede. We couldn't even go with Dance Dance Revolution, stuff like that.
Well, what about one of the original mobile games, Snake?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking that.
That's the original
casual game.
Snake. But, going up on a Tuesday when you're playing Snake.
I can remember. You used to be able to get that on the PC as well when I was at school. It was called Nibbles rather than Snake then. And it was like if you knew how to get to it, because obviously all the teachers thought they took all the games off, but if you knew how to get to it, you could get through DOS to it. It was great. Was that, and there was a game where you had to get a gorilla to chuck a banana over a wall.
Wow, those were the days.
Well, another game you could say might deserve. We could all think of games we think can deserve it. What about Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Well,
Worms.
I was also thinking of talking about PC. What about one of the original games that on PC, Minesweeper?
Yeah.
Pinball 2000.
That was an original game that I remember playing a lot on the PC because it was a free game. So you got to think there is a ton of games, and I'd be honest, I give them credit first of all for making it so it's down to 15, and I really feel sorry for the person who has to choose the people who have to choose which games are going into the Hall of Fame
Well,
and which games aren't.
I don't think it'd be set on opinions. I think it'll be a set criteria, like how many units were sold, how it's affected the video game industry.
Yeah, what the
After its
legacy
release,
is.
Well,
they'll have a group of experts and say, right, this game's done this game's done that, but this took they'll have a few a few hours probably discussing it.
Oh, I forgot a game that was also in the 15 as well. The Oregon Trail's also been added to the list as well. So,
But,
which,
I mean-
yeah.
But I'm actually surprised Pokemon's on there personally.
Well,
It's not.
This was the criteria
I
to
love
get
Pokemon.
into the final list. Basically, you had icon status that the game is recognised and remembered, which, to be honest, all the games are that are on the list. Longevity.
Longevity.
So that the game has enjoyed sustained popularity. Yeah, I agree there. You got to think Minecraft is still popular and we can't see an end to that.
When did Minecraft first get released?
2005, I think it was. I think
Is it that long?
It was May. I remember it was May. The alpha came out.
I think I first got it in 2010
I got it in 2007.
on the PC.
I remember getting it in 2000.
According to this, let me just look at it.
2007 or 2000?
Oh, 9.
Oh, no. I was close.
Yeah, it's not been out. I didn't think it'd been out for 10 years.
I'm thinking 12. I'm probably thinking of 12 actually. So anyway.
Yeah, the alpha version was publicly released on PC on May 17th, 2009.
Anyway, other things, geographical reach, so that the game is known around the world, which is important in my opinion. It's got to be known everywhere, which is, you got to think everyone knows FIFA. That's a good point. And it's more popular in Europe and Southern America, but North America knows about it.
Japanese
FIFA's got the niche market of it is actually called what the Football Association's called as well.
Yeah, that's true.
If you know that sport, you go, oh yeah, FIFA, oh yeah, that's football. Where if you said Call of Duty, you don't think,
Also, the final criteria, and more important about this final criteria, it doesn't have to have any of the other three criteria behind it. How it's influenced.
Yeah, which is why games like Pong and Space Invaders are on there, isn't it?
Yeah. The game has an impact on subsequent games, other forms of entertainment, or pop culture in society, which explains also why Doom is on there as well, because of how it's affected other games around it. It's basically made a genre. Which, in other words, talking about other games.
I'm surprised Streets of Rage isn't on there.
Well, I'm
Streets
thinking
of Rage.
Resident Evil as
I think you've got to think this is the very first one. I think, barring a few of them, like we said, I think most of them are like from 80s, early 90s, like the genesis of the video game industry.
Age of Empires. Was that the first type of strategy game?
I mean, like I say, you can go into so many different. You can make a case for so many different games. You could make a case for Command and Conquer. To me, in my mind, that's the RTS. First comes to mind, RTS Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, basically the final winners are going to be chosen by a selection committee of journalists, scholars, and other individuals familiar with the history of video games and their role in society, and it will be announced during a ceremony at the museum, or where the game, whatever museum, on Thursday, June the 4th at 10:30 a.m. New York Eastern Time, basically.
Yeah.
So we've got over a month before we even know who's going to be put into this Hall of Fame. So be interesting to see what happens with that. And more importantly, I would like to see it every year. It's one of those things.
Well, it will be. And as the years go on, the games we've discussed, like your Resident Evils, your Final Fantasies, they'll all get put in there.
Yeah, but
It'll be a yearly thing.
I've got
be like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
The thing is, all the games that are on the 15 list it's more what we've noticed with it. It's not if they're going to be in it. It's more of a when they're going to be put into it. because all of them do deserve to be in there. Even Angry Birds, because of how it's affected culture in gaming. But we do see that all of them will sooner or later end up being in there. I won't be surprised if Flappy Bird somehow gets in there.
Flappy Bird.
Candy Crush will, but Candy Crush will be in there at some point. It'll be a dark day, but it'll be there.
It'll be in the dark corner.
Clash of Clans.
This is bad.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. God.
Oh dear. Right away.
Story. Ouya is reportedly up for sale, and it's looking quickly to find a buyer. Turns out
What's that? Oh, the Ouya.
Yeah, they are owing a lot of money for this game, for this console.
But it's because it tanked, didn't it?
It's terrible. But
When they say they're looking for a buyer, they're just looking for a buyer for the console. There's just this one console. Please buy it. Somebody buy one of our consoles.
I saw a very brief thing. I think basically they said they want to recoup as much money as possible.
Yeah. But they just proved. I feel sorry because it was what actually pushed Kickstarter in front of me in the first place was the whole Ouya thing. And
what was it? They were what kind of games were Android?
It was Android. It's an Android game setting thing.
Basically, so you could play games that you'd normally play on your phone on your telly.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then basically, after about 6 months, it was outdated by the next mobile phone.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which, yeah.
There's another story. I linked it to you today, GD.
Oh, about the guy.
Yeah. Would you say that gamers are athletes?
No, I'm going looking at us for no.
One player has actually had to retire due to a wrist injury.
Yeah,
a professional gamer.
Strain, yeah.
Yeah. It said he was affected his game so much he couldn't play competitively, and even his team lost faith in his ability because he couldn't think.
It's a good question by UK Video. So what is the best video game you've ever played?
Best video game we've ever played. For me, it's always going to be. I hate to say this because I know Cajr will completely go against me for this. Final Fantasy VII. It's one of those games which actually I remember actually sitting down with my brother and actually playing through it together. Basically, just passing the controller to each other and just basically following the guides and stuff like that.
Why am I going to go against that? That would have been my choice.
No. Because I'm not that guy. That's your game. That's not my game. That is your game.
Yeah, we can have the same game. We can have the same game.
Anyway, you guys go ahead. What's your games?
Go on, Hanksy.
I think GTA 5 for me. I think GTA 5.
Seriously, there's not a game in your younger life that you would say.
No. The question wasn't what was the game you've had the most fun at. It was what was the best game. And for me, the best game was GTA 5. If I was going to pick a game, my favourite game would probably be Halo 3 or something like that. I'm thinking. It's the amount of fun I had on Halo 3 on the multiplayer. In fact, going back further than that, the game I bought the Xbox 360 for was Battlefield 2, which was a brilliant multiplayer game.
What is wrong with you?
It was Battlefield 2 was an absolutely brilliant multiplayer game.
Whatever. Anyway, Cajr, what about you, mate?
This Final Fantasy, it's hard to narrow it down to one because what's your criteria for the best game out there? It's what is the criteria? It's like, do you say is it the gameplay is the best, graphically? Is it just basically what you had most fun on?
I think you're overthinking this question, mate.
No, because I could make a serious case for a few games. I could say Grid, the amount of fun we've had on Grid, group, but graphically it's not the best game.
What
gameplay
game
wise, it's not the best game.
Most?
I'm gonna say Final Fantasy VII. Just for sheer number of hours I put into it, and what I'm gonna put into it when it gets released eventually on the PS4.
So what about you, Shimmy? And I'm going to hope it's not going to be World of Tanks.
No, I think games. I like playing a game that affects me emotionally. I could play. I've got a lot of hours in like World of Tanks, like in the old Call of Duties and stuff. I used to play my dad, but lots of hours playing my dad against on the old Pro Evolutions as well. so many happy times. But the actual game that I've sat down and enjoyed, and it's affected emotionally, is probably Red Dead Redemption. I love that, and cried at the end when he died. Rest in peace. And
Spoiler alert.
But probably the Fable series. I enjoyed playing. I mean, I know they kind of.
We don't talk about the Fable series.
But honest to God,
The sewers.
Fable.
The sewers, GD. Those Fable sewers that you enjoyed so much with Heavenly.
Now I'm thinking, when you say about emotional games, actually, there is one game that still sticks. If you talk about more modern games, Valiant Hearts. I think it's the only game that has actually made me shed a tear for the end of it.
Valiant Hearts, is that the one with the brothers, isn't it?
No, Valiant Hearts is the one about World War II.
World War One in it.
But aren't they brothers? It keeps.
No,
Is it not the trench? Is it not
brothers,
trenches?
all right.
No.
In trenches.
Trenches, isn't it? In World, yeah.
It's the one with trenches. It's the one by Ubisoft, who is part of their UbiArt side thing. But it's not brothers. It's
Is it based on? It's based on the letters of soldiers in it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's based on those of soldiers, but it is. It's one of those games that, when it got to the end of it, it did actually emotionally get to me a little bit, and I recommend, if anyone who hasn't played that game yet, play it, because it is a brilliant game.
It was a PS Plus download, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would recommend.
It's on my list.
If you ever get a chance, play the game, because it is a perfectly brilliant game.
So it's on my list. I haven't played it yet.
Huston says he hasn't played single player. I brought it for the online play, and it seems to me so empty. Yeah, you're probably playing in private.
What format do you have it on? House Junkie. I know it's just coming out on PC. I think that'll be populated on the. I've got it on the 360. I lent it off my brother, and it's there's a dodo's toenails.
You could just get it on console, because that's usually better.
I'll write a Grand Theft Auto MMORPG. There is one, isn't there, which is called
GT Online.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Is it called Fully? What's it called now? Fully Loaded or something? What's it called?
All Points
play.
Bulletin.
That's not GTA though, is it?
All Points Bulletin Reloaded.
Yeah, that's it. Reloaded, is it? Yeah.
APB
Reloaded. Yeah, that's basically GTA Online.
Yeah, I played it when you had to actually pay for it, and it's Oh, that was that didn't really make my MMO experience fun.
This one could be a good question. What's the worst game you ever played and regret playing?
The worst game I've ever played and regret
I've got
playing.
one right away.
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
NCIS the game. Fortunately, I didn't actually buy it. I borrowed it off my friend, and I completed it in about 2 or 3 hours. It was shit. You basically, the game walks you through it itself. There's no way you're going to fail to complete that game. It was absolutely horrible for a game. So that's mine.
Mine was Quake Wars.
Quake Wars.
PlayStation, for the Xbox 360, and the graphics looked dead good on the box. And then I put it in. I thought, yeah, I love Quake. Put it in, and it was like a single-player Quake. Amazing storyline, all this machines you could drive, tanks and robots. And I got it, and it was just the biggest piece of shite I've ever played in my life. I think I'd done the first level, and just like, I think I gave it my mate and said, "You can lend this, and I do not want to see it ever again." Awful. Quake Wars. Just don't even look it up.
With me, it's probably. Have you heard the game called Life is Strange?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I think I need to give it more of a chance, but I'm not a fan of the hipsterish style of it. I'm not a fan of hipsters. I just think they're basically so stuck up. Yeah, basically. But yeah, I would say that is one game that I do regret buying. Okay, it's not finished yet. I think it's only into the second episode. It might get better. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that game. A game that I've actually played that has been completed that I regret getting. Playboy the Mansion. Is
that like The Sims?
It was like The Sims, but it was.
It was like The Sims. Basically, you were Hugh Hefner. If I remember correctly, you were pretty much Hugh Hefner. Could you actually have relationships with some models as well, if I remember correctly?
I don't know. I got completely confused. I don't know what was happening. What was I? I would have been 12 or 13. I would have been playing the game. Guess why I was playing the game? Because it's had Playboy on it. I was a teenager. Of course I would have been pervy back then.
You're still pervy now. Dead or alive.
Hanksy, what about you?
I'm trying to think. I'm desperately trying to think what the name of it was. There's only one game I've ever bought and taken back on the same day, and it was on the 360. And it was, what was it called? Yeah, you had to basically you rode around in these big sort of like tripod mech type things, and you. No, it was, This was 360. This was 360. This was years ago. I'm trying to think.
Was it Mech Warrior or something like that?
No. I'm trying to think. I can't for the life of me think what it's called. It was a game. It was a game. I was like, I'd seen it in like the 360 magazine. I thought this is going to be a great game. And I bought it, and it was so bad. I actually took it back the same afternoon. It was really awful. So I'll have to try and remember what it was.
Chrome Hounds.
The sounds. It could have been that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, that was awful. Absolutely awful game.
Anyway, at the top right, say what?
Was the front cover? Was it like a mech with loads of guns for?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Just say it was awful.
Dirty. With all the Y's.
I forgot you were in
Dirty.
Anyway, let's one more story.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Chrome Hounds. That was the one. I've got it up here now. Awful game. Absolutely awful.
Cajr, is your cam moving? Proper tripping me out. Yeah, his cam is slightly moving. Both Hanksy's and Cajr's are because they're both using the Xbox Connect. So yeah, both the cameras are moving. Give it a couple of minutes later, they'll probably go and wander off somewhere like they always do. Not them, the cameras.
Tripping me out as well. Yeah. But those cameras are far superior to the cat, which I am replacing.
Any Connect games, Heavenly's put.
Anyway, one more last news story that I completely forgot to talk about. About Steam and their whole. What has happened over the past couple of days? Oh, God.
Paid work. Is it paid on workshop?
Right, what has happened is that Steam had decided to give the modding community on Skyrim the chance to charge for their mods. Yeah, it didn't work. Well, basically what has happened is the modders would have got 25% of whatever they made from it, with 30% going to Steam and the other 45% going to Bethesda, who made Skyrim. I'm surprised if you don't know that. So what has happened is it basically caused a huge outroar with the PC community behind this whole thing. When you basically paying probably the same amount for one mod that would cost you for the game. So, and basically what has happened, people had been taking other mods from Nexus, which is another modding community for Skyrim, and putting them over onto Steam and started charging people for them through that as well. So they were basically stealing other people's mods and start charging for them. Not only that, people were starting to do gimmicky mods out there as well. Like you could have bought a golden potato and rubbish. And what else was there? An apple.
I think there was a type of apple for like £7.50 that someone had just got and stuck it on.
Yeah. Also, I think there was another one where you could actually buy nothing and class it as a microtransaction. So what happened was Gabe Newell decided to do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit. That was the worst decision I think he's ever made. He basically got swamped by over 19,000 people replying to him on Reddit. I think it nearly broke Reddit because of this as well. People go saying, "Why have you done this?" And that. I remember also they did mods that had give you ability to kill Gabe Newell, or also to put Gabe Newell's face on all the trolls as well in the game. Well, also, what has happened on Monday, Valve have come out and said, look, we're going to be taking away the paid. You don't have to pay for mods anymore. We're going to be taking that away. We know it was a bad move here. They're not going to be completely getting rid of it. They'll probably bring it back again in the future, but they'll think about it a bit better.
Well, you don't need to pay for them anyway. You just go to the modders site and download it for free and install it yourself. I know it's easier if you get it off them because they patch all the files for you, so it's easier. But I'm not going to spend £10 on a modders thing when you get it free off his site.
But don't get me wrong. In my opinion, look, I do agree that modders should be paid for their stuff. But there's other ways to pay for them, like donations or Patreon as well. You can pay for them to do it through that. Because some of them, they do brilliant work. We've seen people, we've spoken on the podcast about people who have actually done mods for Skyrim, who have actually now been given jobs in the actual gaming industry.
You mentioned a good part there about people getting paid. I know it's slightly off topic, but about there was a YouTuber that I watch, and he's saying he's struggling with getting his content out, and YouTube's advertisement scheme.
Yeah.
Obviously, you only get paid if you're showing advertisements. If you want to get more money, then you put more advertisements, which spoils your videos.
Yeah.
People don't want to watch. So he was saying he wants to make all his videos advertisement free and then go on Patreon, which you just mentioned. And then hopefully people would subscribe with Patreon. So no more ads for my videos if people could give me money on Patreon. But people were saying, oh no, you're just a money grabbing stardo and all this. But he's saying, no, I'm still making a little. You only wanted a few cents, you know what I mean?
Personally, that's what I would like to do. I wouldn't mind doing the whole Patreon thing when we start to get more popular, and actually go down that road as well. Where I don't want to do the subscription on Twitch like other podcasts do. I don't want. I would rather have no advertising on YouTube as well. But you got to think at the same time, the people who are making this stuff, they are basically taking their time to actually make it. We kind of know how it does feel sometimes, because we've got to film it, and then we've got to edit it, and then we've got to make sure it's going out properly. And if you think it with us, we try and get at least 5 videos out in a week ourselves. And but that in my opinion, that's my limit at the moment, because of other things in real life that's around us. And we know how difficult it is, not just to actually edit the videos, but actually gathering us all together and making sure that it's working to do the videos. It's like, for example, the Battle of the Craver thing, me and Doc's just not had time to do the next round of it. We want to do the next round. We love doing the series ourselves, but we've just not had time. It's same with us and doing the final of the Super Fight card thing as well. We've just not had time to do it, but we loved playing that game. And then it's not just that. When we're doing other series, like for example the mine and Cajr's prediction stuff, we can only do it at a certain time because we don't know what's happening. We don't have all the matches in front of us straight away. It's like, for example, one of the matches that we actually did on the prediction, it ended up getting cancelled last minute. But we couldn't do anything about it because the video was already up. So I understand how much work it does take behind getting all this done, and I rather agree. I rather have a patron or something like that, or basically something like that instead of having advertisements show up or have sponsorship in the videos. I wouldn't mind doing that as well, rather than having random advertisements that I don't even know what the advertisement is for. I'd rather advertise something that I completely have respect for and I would use myself. So
yeah, definitely. It is a funny one because everything now is money getting off. Everything seems to be free. You know, YouTube is a freeware site to use.
Yes, someone did
to
get
put your videos out, and then it's all advertisements in your face. And you know, kids. My daughter sits there watching YouTube videos and then gets spammed with all sorts of stuff. You know, bloody things and buying the latest this and that. And next thing you know, they've grown up and brainwashed, and they've already spent 25 grand of your flaming money that you've not earned.
I'd like to point out, if you ask any YouTuber or any Twitch streamer or anyone who does stuff for the internet, I think if they were given a choice to do something that was separate from just putting advertising and getting it through ad revenue, they would do it in a heartbeat.
Well, people won't pay, though, do they? Because they like it free. People would rather just put ad blocker on.
That's something I hate. I really do hate ad blocker. I think it is it's something, in my opinion, which should be completely. I wouldn't mind it being banned. I don't like it.
It's Google's own thing, isn't it? Ad blocker.
Exactly.
Get it off Google, and so you're going to block their own revenue from coming from YouTube, which they own.
Yeah, but they don't bother because they're still probably getting more revenue from other areas, which is upsetting. But anyway, like I said,
UK videos put up another question. If she's finishing that bit, a while ago now. Does he think any of us could make as a pro gamer?
No.
I knew that reaction.
I like to point out that
Pro Minecraft.
You could class it as an amateur school. When pro gamer wasn't a pro gaming, I was actually part of tournaments when I was at school myself, and I learned very quickly. Yeah, it's not a place you really want to go into. It is. The thing is, don't get me wrong, I do have respect for pro gamers and all that lot. It's an industry, and I would like to see it become classed as an actual sport in the future. But in my opinion, with pro gamers, they're basically gamers who are really, really good at one game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've got.
Isn't it technically already a sport?
Certain areas don't think it's a sport. For example, ESPN. Even though showed the invitation.
It's not on Sky Sports News.
I know.
What defines a sport? Is it? To me, it's just one person competes against another in a competition. That defines a sport.
I suppose if darts could be classed as a sport and snooker, pool, I think.
Yeah, there's no reason why it couldn't be, is there?
But actually, being an athlete is different than a sport. I think you have to get that one. An athlete is a Adonis.
Well, it's like there was a question on. I think I was watching Sky Sports, which, if you're in America, that is basically our main sports news hub in the UK. They had someone from the Bridge Association or something like that, and basically they were arguing the fact that the card game Bridge should be classed as a sport. They don't want money from Sports England for doing this. They just want it to be classed as a sport. Why do they want you to say random things, mate? I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Well, if you want to say sports, you could say. No, this is going to make a lot. Tiddlywinks. That was an Olympic sport once upon a time.
Was.
Oh yeah.
Tiddlywinks is the one and only game for me. I think if they made a 3D HD 1080p 8 out of 8 great mate, I'd play it.
Right, wasn't poetry? I think it wasn't the Olympics after the Second World War. I think poetry was in it.
I think so.
Poetry.
Well, no,
is that weird?
I have no idea, but I believe it was.
Is it the person who gets the most tears?
Poetry.
Anyway, before like I said, if you got any questions on the chat box that you want to ask us, put
cheeky bastard.
Put some questions through at the moment. But before we do that, we might as well do the new releases of the week because we're getting close to the end of it.
It's getting quite late.
Yeah, it's getting quite late. So, games that have come out today. Broken Age has come out on the PlayStation 4, the PS Vita, and the PC. It's digital only on the PS4 and the PS Vita. I've played the first act. I do recommend you get it. It's a brilliant game. Games coming out on Friday the 1st of May. State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition comes out on Xbox One and PC digital only. And Omega Quintet comes out on the PS4. And then on Tuesday, the 5th of May, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood comes out on Xbox One, PS4 and PC, digital only. It will then come out as a retail version on May the 15th.
Apparently, that's got a 38 gig download.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the poetry thing, in the 1948 Summer Olympics, there was art competitions in it. There was architecture, which had 2 categories: architectural design and town planning. Literature, which had lyric works, dramatic works, and epic works. Music, vocal, instrumental and chamber, and choral and orchestral.
Okay.
Painting and graphic art was oils and watercolours. Engravings and etchings, and applied arts and crafts, and sculpture, statues, reliefs, and medals and plaques.
Okay. Anyway, last bit, guys. Is what we normally do. Any plans? Any gaming nights? Any streaming events? Starting with you, Cajr.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's your turn.
I've got a Minecraft thing going on tomorrow, a community-based thing. I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know who's signed up to it or anything. Might just be the 2 of us. Other than that,
do a video.
Other than that, nothing planned. Might something impromptu.
Yeah, I know Tetris. Okay.
He's got £10. I won £10 on it as well. Look. Wow.
You're rich.
Well done. Thanks due to that. Anything else, Cajr, or is that it?
Nothing planned. Might be something unplanned, but I can't
if
guarantee.
there is, you can find that at twitch.tv/CAJR87. His Twitch stream is also CAJR87. Seriously, don't start showing this random stuff on me. And thanks because of showing random stuff. Shimmy, you could be next up on the. What have you got planned? If you got anything planned, stream wise, game night wise, go ahead.
I've got planned some crazy shit. So crazy. I'm going to do some World of Tanks, maybe some Heroes of the Storm, and I'm hoping to set up the Broken Sword playthrough.
Right, yeah.
Click genre, nice little story there. Probably record it. You can see it all over the show. YouTube, ESPN, Sky News, Pro Gaming. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be crazy. All the boys are going to be there. And so yeah, check out. I don't really have a schedule. Just hit me up on the /RedShimmy twitchtv.co.uk. Also,
can they follow you on Twitter at the same thing?
Follow me on Twitter at the same name. Yeah, RedShimmy. Everything's RedShimmy. If you've not got RedShimmy on some gaming platform, there's something wrong.
Right, let's just move over. Hanksy, have you got any plans this week, mate?
As I said, might be on Minecraft tomorrow. So we've got. I think me and Heavenly are going to do some Dragon Age multiplayer at some point. Some co-op on that. Yep, so we'll be on that. Carry on playing a lot of Neverwinter at the moment still on the Xbox. GTA 5, Xbox. Different stuff. So just look out for me, really.
And where can they find you?
Yeah, I presumed you were going to tell them like you did for Cajr.
I'm lazy.
He's burnt himself out.
You can find me on obviously Twitch, TV/Hanksy1979 on that.
I like how he had to think his year of birth.
Yeah, it's only my date of birth. I only have to say it every week.
And I'm guessing same on Twitter they can find you at Hanksy.
It's Hanksy979 on that, and also say from streaming with Heavenly, it's twitch.tv/Heavenly30. So it could be on her account that we're streaming.
Right, my turn. Right, so like I said, I'll be on with Cajr and probably Hanksy on Minecraft tomorrow, which is Thursday the 30th. Also on hopefully Saturday or Sunday we might be doing hopefully be doing a super fight. We don't know what the hell's happening with that yet. Also probably Monday. It depends on what we're all doing. We might be doing either a Drawful, Fibbage or Cards Against Humanity. if you guys are up for that
Fibbage.
again.
I miss Fibbage.
You miss Fibbage. We'll probably do a Fibbage again. I think that's pretty much it. You can find me at twitch.tv/GDW2007. It's the same again with my Twitter. What?
Masturbation man.
Masturbation man.
Fuck off. You can also
blatantly
find
a stoner as well.
You can find me on Twitter at the same thing, GDW2007. Also, for any news, the update, which is going to be on Tuesday this week because it's bank holiday on Monday, and for the CTG Podcast, you can find that at craveyourgame.wordpress.com. Also, what?
Evil laughter comes from the
I
gut.
did not say car 2007. Also, if you want to be part of Crave the Game, you can join us at cravethegame.net. Also, for any of the videos that we do that are streamed on Twitch, usually they end up on our YouTube channel, which is basically search for Crave Your Game. And also, if you want, you can follow Crave Your Game at Crave Your Game. So, like I said, any questions before we go?
Yeah.
How does Tuesday go? It usually goes
Badly.
between Monday and Wednesday. It basically is completely random. We do our best.
Do we?
No. Can I be part of the stream?
Well, part of the stream by being in the chat.
Yeah, you're in chat.
Yeah.
You guys, hi. We try and get to talk shit too. Yeah, nah. We try our best. We talk complete every time. We get there. Yeah. See, I'm doing it at the moment. I'm just saying random words, and it's somehow making sense.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. Can I be T-boy?
No, I only like
Be
coffee.
anything you want, man.
No, T-Boy's, that's Hanksy. That's T-Boy.
Yeah, I only like coffee.
I thought he was Fimblecock,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
Sure,
he also,
masturbation,
he also makes Heavenly's tea.
Yeah, he's
When she wants a cup of tea, he has to go to the kitchen and make it.
It's because I make the best tea.
You get like off Tomb Raider, the guy with the trolley followed her around.
Oh god, yeah.
Lock you in the freezer.
Lock in the freezer.
Yeah.
I think it's the bow tie, mate. I like it kind of
Yeah.
gives it away. But
Bow ties are cool.
yeah. So any more questions before we go? Because it is getting a little bit late. Oh,
Yeah, it's a bit late now, so we...
I want a cup of tea.
On that
we
note,
are an adult community. I'd like to point that out as well.
I think he's promoting his own there, I think.
yeah. So,
His missus telling him to get off. Yeah, pretty much.
well, basically she wants tea.
Yeah, so I like to point out. So I think it's time to finish the show. You know what? Because you did such a great job last time, mate. Shimmy, do you want to finish off the show?
I was joking. I didn't really freeze. Listen, guys, the stream is like a pie. It's pucker. Get yourself subscribe. Go and check us out on the we've got websites. It's the internet. You can just log in, check it out. Even if you don't, you know what I mean. You don't log in details. Give us your account number, sort code. I mean, these are things.
Don't.
No, but I've enjoyed filling in for Doc. But check out because he's the main man, and he should be back next week. Hopefully, GD tempts him in with some Patreon money that he's been pinching off everyone. and hopefully, especially for some of the audience that are watching, Cajr's camera will stop shaking around everywhere. I think he keeps flicking it with his big toe. He's got really long legs and he keeps flicking it with his toe.
Oh no! Don't show the feet.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been one small step for man, one giant leap. Crave the game.
Remember, if you want to join us for next week's podcast, you can follow the CTG podcast by clicking the pretty little part in the bottom left hand corner. So yeah, thank you for joining us and good night.
Night.
Night.